Good morning. Robin Miller here, your winking chef. Well, I know it's been a little while, but I sure am glad to be with you here today. I don't know, let me turn you around. You see, I'm not in my kitchen. I am at church where we have lunch and Bible study. We've been doing this several months here every Tuesday at 11:30 a.m. And I usually do lunch, and so that's what I'm doing today. And what I'm going to do, I wanted to show y'all. It's a hot chicken salad. It's great to eat alone, or you can put it on a croissant or a piece of bread. But it is hot when you eat it, and it is delicious. It's a delicious chicken salad, and I like the fact that it's hot. It's a little bit different. Anyway, I'm going to attempt to turn you down so you can see what I'm doing, and we're going to get this in the oven and get ready for the people. I sure am glad to see y'all, and I hope everybody has been doing great. I've been doing well. We finally got a little rain here in East Tennessee in the Knoxville, Alcoa area, and I sure am glad because it was so dry. The ground was cracking. I believe I could have fell through it if I had walked on it, but we did get some rain. We've had rain now for about a day and a half, and it was sure good to have the rain. There wasn't any bad storms, just a good steady rain, and that helps everybody in their garden. I don't have a garden. I have some sweet potatoes, and that's all I've planted this year. My son-in-law, he's trying the tomatoes again. I'm not planting tomatoes. I love tomatoes, but we have an abundant supply of squirrels. I wish them Duck Dynasty people would come over and kill some of them and take them home and cook them up. I'm not doing that either. But they steal my tomatoes. They'll wait till they're almost ripe. And then overnight, the tomatoes are gone. Them squirrels are eating them. I know they are. So anyway, that's what I've been doing, getting ready to go on vacation, hopefully. I'll get to do a video or two while I'm on vacation, let y'all see where I am and what's going on there. But I'm going to get right to this hot chicken salad. Now, as always, I will give you the ingredients as I speak them. I do these videos. I tell you what I'm doing. You can see what I'm doing, and I give you the ingredients. Occasionally, I can post the recipe. I'm sorry, I really don't have time to individually send recipes out to people. I apologize for that. I just don't have that kind of time. And so, you know, I watch other people cook too. It's my little hobby. And what I do, I sit down with a pencil and piece of paper, and as I am watching them with their recipe, I jot down the ingredients and I have it right there. That's what I do. Again, I want to apologize. I just don't have time to send the recipe out to everybody. I just don't have that kind of time. But anyway, I'm going to get right to it, and I hope you'll enjoy this. This is a great recipe. I know if you try it, you will like it. So let me see if I can get you adjusted so you can see what I'm doing. Do you see that? Well, let me see if I can tighten this up here. Let's see. Okay. I've got 4 cups of shredded chicken here, cooked, already cooked and shredded. And this is, like I said, our hot chicken salad, so we're going to start with that. I used a rotisserie chicken. That's what I use. You can use whatever kind of chicken you want. It's the whole chicken is what I used. If you want to use all white meat, then use all white meat. That's great too. I like a mixture, so I used a mixture. All right, to this, we are going to add, we're just going to mix all of our ingredients together. I'm still shredding this up a little bit. Okay, so we need a cup of celery, diced celery, and that's what was in there. That was what was in there, okay? We need 1 cup, and I'm sorry, it was not a cup of celery. So we've got 4 cups of chicken, a half a cup of celery. We've got 1 cup of mayonnaise, and let me get that in there. I already had this measured out. 1 cup. Okay, and the recipe calls for a cup of cheddar cheese, So let's see if I can, I've got my cheddar cheese all shredded. You know, I do not buy the pre-shredded cheese. So there's a cup of that. The recipe also calls for 1 can of cream of chicken soup. Well, I'll tell you what, I don't have a can of cream of chicken soup. I thought I brought a can of chicken soup, and what I brought was a can of cream of mushroom soup and a can of cream of celery soup. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to use a half a can of each. That's what I'm going to do, but the recipe calls for 1 can of cream of chicken soup. So we're just going to do this here, and this will alter the taste a little bit, but it will be okay. All right, now to that we need 1 can of water chestnuts. Now I've got my water chestnuts already here. We're gonna put those in there. That's 1 can. I've diced some of them I've left whole. And we also need a half a cup of slivered almonds. And I'm gonna put those in there. Half a cup of almonds. To that we need about a tablespoon of lemon juice. So let me get this. You know, this is a quick recipe. It doesn't take long at all to put together once you get your ingredients. About a tablespoon. So I'm using about a half of a lemon. Just gonna squeeze that in there. Okay. Let me wash my hands off. And now all we do is stir this up. That's all we have to do is stir this, give this a stir. Mix it all together. Yeah, you can see that good. You know, when you're not in your own kitchen, you don't know where you don't have your hands on possibly everything you need. I shred my own cheese, and the grater I had over here was just awful, but I made do. Okay. Now, there are other things you can do with this chicken salad. If you want to add a little onion, then you add a little onion. I don't want any onion in mine, but I'll tell you what I do want. I want a little bit more cheddar cheese, so I'm going to put just a little bit in there. And I'm going to put a little bit on the top too. That's what I'm going to do. So we're going to mix all this up. Look at that. Okay, now let me get my casserole. What I'm using is a 9 by 13. A smaller casserole will work too. Something like 11 by 7 or something like that. Whatever kind of casserole you've got handy. You don't want it to be any bigger than a 9 by 13, because if you do, then your salad's going to be too thin. It's not going to take as long to cook it. You've got to watch the time. The oven is preheated, and I've got it preheated to 350. When I put all this in here, then we're going to cook it about 25 to 30 minutes. I want to make sure you can see this. So I'm just going to rake this in here. I've got this casserole. I've got a little bit of butter in the casserole, just enough to keep it from sticking. However, I don't think it'll stick. Now, if you'll notice, I did not add any salt. I'm not going to add any salt. You taste this, and if you think you need salt, then you put some salt in there. If anybody wants any salt, when I get this made, then a salt shaker will be sitting on the table. The reason I'm not adding any salt is because that's a rotisserie chicken. It has salt on it. The cheddar cheese has plenty of salt in it. It's already got, and I'm going to top this with potato chips, which has what? Has salt, doesn't it? So let's put this in here. Oh man, doesn't that look good? Okay, now, well, okay, there you go. Now you can see it. I'm sorry. Now I'm going to put a little pepper on here, because I do want a little pepper on it, if I can find some pepper. believe I've got some pepper right here. I'm not going to put a lot of pepper on there because I don't want to kill nobody. And not everybody loves the pepper like I do. Well, okay, here we go. I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit on there. If you want to mix your pepper in as you mix it together, that's quite all right too. I just want to put a little bit on top here. Okay, now what little cheese I've got left over. Now it called for a cup of cheese, and I grated 1 8-ounce block, and I'm using it all. I've put extra cheese in. That's my preference. The recipe calls for 1 cup of grated cheese. I'm putting a little bit extra in here. Just putting it on. Now, this is how it says to pop it. With crushed up potato chips. So that's what we're going to do. 1.5 cups of crushed up potato chips. And I'm just going to crush them. I'm not measuring them, but I want to get my top coated good. That's what I'm going to do. But it does, the recipe calls for 1.5 cups. We have had big goings on. My granddaughter, she's had a birthday. She's now 18. She graduated high school. We've had a big graduation party for her, a birthday party for her, and she's on her way to the Bahamas tomorrow with some friends. I can't believe she's grown, but she is. My niece, she had a big birthday. She's 16. Hallelujah. I cannot believe that little baby girl, that little fat baby that I love so much is 16. So I just want to give a shout out to Kelsey, Lindsay, my niece, and Emma Trent, my granddaughter. Happy birthday, girls. I love y'all. Okay, now I think that is plenty of potato chips. That's what I think. The cheddar cheese I used sharp. You don't have to use sharp. If you want to use mild, use mild. If you want to use white cheddar cheese, use white cheddar cheese. You use whatever you want to use, and your recipe, it's still going to be delicious. So, you see that? You see that? That's ready. I'm going to put this in the oven right now. I've got my oven preheated. I'm putting this right in here. And we're going to cook that about 20 to 30 minutes. When it starts to bubble, it'll get crunchy and brown around the edges, and it'll be done. And then we will serve it. We're also going to have asparagus bundles. Let me show you that. Here's my fresh asparagus. Let's see here. There you go. And all I've done is, the asparaguses were kind of small. I just washed them good, wrapped them each bundle in a half a strip of bacon. I cut the strip long ways, wrapped it around there. I am going to add, I'm not going to add any salt to this either, but I am going to go ahead and put pepper on it. Now let me tell you why I'm not adding any salt to this. Because the bacon has salt, and when this gets almost done, I'm going to sprinkle freshly grated Parmesan cheese on it. Parmesan cheese has a lot of salt in it. And again, anybody wants salt, there'll be salt sitting on the table, and they are certainly welcome to use it. But anyway, this is going to be our lunch today. I think I'm going to do a little bit of corn. We've got some croissants, and that's what we've got. I am working on doing a recipe for you all, and I'll let you know. It takes 2 days to make, so I can't decide how I'm going to do that. But anyway, I'm working on that. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but I'm very excited about it. I'm going to try to be better about getting on here and doing videos for y'all. I am sharing them also to YouTube, because Facebook and I are not getting along, and as I understand it from several sources, it's not me and Facebook, it's Facebook. But anyway, I'm not going to go off Facebook, but it is getting more and more difficult to share videos on there. That is why I am going on to YouTube, and I'm sharing some of mine on YouTube as well. Again, it is The Winking Chef, Robin Miller, The Winking Chef. Anyway, I'm going to put you on hold. I'm going to put you on pause on my asparagus. When I get ready to pop it in the oven, I'm not going to drizzle any kind of oil over it because of the bacon. It's going to have plenty of oil on it when that bacon starts getting cooked. I am going to cook that, do that at 350 as well for about 20 minutes. So anyway, I'm going to put you on hold. I will be back as soon as my casserole gets out, and we'll see what it looks like, and we'll have us a bite. Okay, our casserole is ready. It's just lightly browned. It's cooked through and through. Of course, we started with mostly cooked anyway. The casserole is ready. We'll let it cool for just a bit. I'm going to pull my asparagus out of the oven and show you about the grated Parmesan cheese, and then I will try our casserole. This bacon's getting brown. The asparagus is just about done. So I'm going to put on a little Parmesan cheese. And this is all there is to that. It's not hard. This is an easy meal. It's a good meal. People will think you've been cooking all day. It's a great little light lunch. It's not a heavy lunch. And it is a great little lunch. And you can put as much or as little Parmesan that you want on here. If you don't want any Parmesan, don't put it on here. Okay, I like plenty. My people will like plenty. So I'm putting plenty on here. Okay. I think that's just good enough. Get it on there and bake it a few more minutes just till it gets done. Your asparagus, some people like it cooked completely, others like it with just a still little, an al dente, a little crunch to it. That's the way I like it. Okay, let's put that in there and let that finish cooking. And while that's happening, let's see about, okay, I've got a little spoon here. And let's just get a little plate. And I wish I could turn this around and let you look at it. You see, you can see better how brown that is along the sides. That's what we're looking for. It started to bubble. So I'm just going to get a little bite of this. Look at that. And I'm going to let it cool for just a minute. I'm going to move this out of my way. Well, I'm going to slide it back here. Okay. Now this is so good and it's so easy. I just don't want to burn myself. And I know you don't want me to. So let's just see here. You know, between the water chestnuts and those almonds, if you don't like or can't eat almonds, leave them out or add a different nut in there. It'll be just as good. The water chestnuts, what's not to like about them? They really don't have a taste. They just have a crunch, and I love them. I love the celery, and you know, the recipe called for a cream of chicken soup. I didn't have that. I used half cream of mushroom and half cream of celery. I did not want to use all of either one of those because I didn't want that flavor to be too strong. This is a chicken salad, so I just didn't want it to be too strong. If you can at all, get your cream of chicken soup. That's what I'd use. But this tastes good. This is really good. Or you can do what I did, whatever you've got. Just use whatever you've got. Isn't that what we learned to do during COVID? Man, that's good. My people are going to love that. And I know you'll love it too if you'll just give it a try. That asparagus is going to be done in about 5 more minutes. and then we're ready to eat. Anyway, I'm Robin Miller, your winking chef. Y'all remember to say a little prayer for your neighbors, your loved ones, for that war going on the other side of the world, and the mumblings and grumblings of carrying on that's going on in our own country. We've had a lot of wonderful kids graduate this spring. Say a little prayer for those kids. They're starting the next leg of their life and what a life it's going to be. And you know, they need our guidance, they need our love, and they need our support. And even if you don't have any kids that have graduated, if you've got a neighborhood child, somebody you go to church with, just somebody you have, a friend's child, give them that support. Drop a note to them and just say, hey, I'm thinking about you and I'm proud of you. Congratulations. You know, there's a lot of kids choosing now not to go on to college. That's not a bad thing at all. College is not for everyone. And they have started putting trades back in the school, and they need to do that because this country was founded on trades. Learning to do a trade, not college educated people. And we need that. So just remember to bless those that you know. Cook somebody a good meal, and you know what? If you live by yourself and you don't have anybody to cook for, guess what? Cook yourself a good meal. You deserve that, and you need that. I'm Robin Miller, your winking chef. Thanks for liking and watching and sharing my videos. Remember, I am now on YouTube to some degree. And y'all have a great afternoon. Thank you.